Remains by Simon Armitage. Hello Year 11, I'm going to be giving you a short summary and talking about a couple of quotations from the poem Remains. Remains is based on verbatim accounts, so Simon Armitage actually spoke to a number of soldiers who'd returned from fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he based this poem, along with a collection of other poems, on the actual words and stories that those soldiers told him. So in this poem, it's written in first person, and it describes a soldier on patrol finding a looter in a bank and killing him, shooting him. It's quite a fragmented poem, so the poet uses a lot of enjambment, there's a lot of run-on lines, and the line enjambment exists even between the stanzas. As the poem progresses, the soldier talks about returning home, but he's unable to forget killing this particular looter. He's haunted by what he's done and is probably suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. The poem is really about the consequences of conflict and war, not just in the moment, but the effects that linger and remain after the war is over. The title is deliberately ambiguous and has a double meaning. So Armitage talks about both the corpse of the man who's been shot, his remains, but it's also about the idea of remains in the sense of things that stay with us and linger and are hard to get rid of. If I was going to learn some quotations from this poem, I would want to learn the line, probably armed, possibly not. That's repeated twice, both in the first stanza and then later in the poem also. In the beginning, the first time it's used, the soldier seems more confident that, perhaps this looter is armed and it is reasonable, therefore, to shoot him. Later on, that question is still playing on his mind when he's having dreams about what happened back at home, and it seems more uncertain. Those adverbs, probably, possibly, giving a feeling that he's unsure about whether he did the right thing and whether he's in fact shot an unarmed civilian. He also uses imagery in the line, his blood shadow stays on the street. So the image of a shadow can be interpreted in a number of ways. It can be something that's always with us, so in the sense that the experience is always with the soldier, it's following him around. Shadows can also suggest darkness, something sinister, and the fact that the shadow stays on the street, again, suggests that this is something which won't wash off. It's something that's difficult to get rid of, both literally and metaphorically. The final line of the poem is also interesting. He writes, his bloody life in my bloody hands. So the repetition of that adjective bloody is quite significant. It can mean almost like a swear word, but also literally covered in blood. Many people interpret this line almost as a reference to the play Macbeth, which we've also studied, and blood is used here as a metaphor for guilt that is difficult to get rid of for the soldier.